Hello, Crime Atlas Nation. How's everybody's day going? If you have any video ideas that you would like to see me cover, don't forget to comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It would really help my channel out a lot. Today's topic is going to be about the new law called the right to try. I am not a lawyer, and this is not legal advice. This is just me explaining what I have read about the law. What is the right to try bill? It is a bill that allows patients to have access to new treatments that have not been passed by the FDA. Let's look at the pros and cons of the right to try. A right to try gives the over 1 million Americans who die from terminal illness every year a new tool to fight and make potentially life-saving decisions about their treatment. The bill requires any manufacturer or sponsor of an eligible investigational drug to report to the FDA on any use of the drug on a right to try basis. It takes away the FDA compassionate use application is complicated and time consuming, resulting in only about 1,200 approved applications per year, which is not a lot when you think about the whole scope of how many treatments are in the testing phase or trying to get approved by the FDA phase. With President Trump's signature, the federal government joins with the 40 states that have approved the right to try bill. The right of terminally ill patients to try to potentially life-saving drugs and treatments. It would really help anyone that's really sick, because it may be a new drug, but it may just be the cure for that illness that that person's having. President Trump is putting healthcare decisions back into the hands of Americans by repealing Obamacare individual mandate, ending healthcare rationing board, and providing more affordable options outside of Obamacare, which is really good because a lot of people lost their health insurance coverage because of Obamacare. Just like everything else, we gotta also look at the cons. The bill limits the liability of drug sponsors, manufacturers, prescribers, or dispensers that provide or decline to provide an eligible investigational drug to an eligible patient, which means they won't be reliable if something bad happens to you from the drug, since it hasn't passed by the FDA, which means there is a risk still. But I think there's always a risk when you take a medication, because you never know how that drug's going to affect you. The drugs aren't been passed by the government, so they haven't been proven safe, so there's that risk that something could make your condition that much worse, or can bring out symptoms that you may not know that your disease had or condition had, which can change your condition to even worse if you're not careful. According to the National Cancer Institute, an estimated 900,640 Americans would die from cancer alone in 2018, and the drugs that can make these cases worse, which means they could speed up some people's dying depending on the drug and the side effects of the drug. Now let's talk about what I think about the bill. I think it can save lives. It can do a lot of good because it can speed up the process. but at the same time, I think it can pose some serious risks to people's health, depending on the side effects of the drug and how your body reacts to the drugs. Because everybody's body can react differently to a drug than someone else's body would. There's a lot of danger when you're going into the area of uncertified drugs by the government. Like drugs that haven't been passed by the government for be able to use in medical cases. It can open up more treatments for people who may not have very many options. Because anything that can open up more treatments for someone who has limited options is always a good thing. It can be what actually saves their lives, or it can make them feel better because they have more options to choose from, so they don't feel like they have to just choose one or two of the options. They have more options, so they don't have to feel like they're narrowed in their choice. I think it's needed in cases when someone has terminally ill conditions and just don't have options at the current medical level, of what's been approved. So they can have options of something that isn't been approved by the government because they don't have any other options. It can help the FDA find out if a drug's safe or not, because if a lot of people are taking the drug but it hasn't been approved yet by the government, they can use those cases to show that the drug is safe and it should be put into the mainstream medical field. It can also help doctors give their patients options, and it can help doctors be able to find out new information about the newest drugs, and they may know what's better for the patient than the government. I think it's really important for